It doesn't even get that cold in North Carolina, but it's cold enough to make this tire impossible to work with. When working on a cold tire, consider bringing it inside to let it warm up first. A warm tire is a lot easier to manipulate. Also, applying rubbing alcohol to the bead will help it slip back on. Afterwards, it evaporates like it was never there. If your local trails are loaded with creek crossings, you know all about wet shoes. To help dry them out in a hurry, place each shoe over a large hex wrench and use a drill to spin them at 3,500 RPMs. I'm mostly not serious about that. Actually, news or magazine paper is a smarter choice. Just be sure to use any publication except for Freehub. Just stuff the shoe full of paper all the way down to the toe, and it'll help draw the moisture out. This is a great use for junk mail, and it can still be recycled after the fact. If you work on your own bike, you know how nice it is to have proper cable cutters, as using other kinds of cutters can be less than ideal. But in a pinch, you can get by with some electrical tape. Wrap it really tightly around the brake or shift cable, and then make your cut. Although you may have the same struggles in making a clean cut, you'll at least be left without a frayed end. And I can only assume that if you're using this hack, you probably don't have any crimps for the end. So coat the end in a few layers of crazy glue to seal it off. If you do have caps, it's best to install them with a crimper to ensure they don't come loose. To make do without one, you can use needle nose pliers or diagonal cutters to crush them down in one spot. Just try not to squeeze so hard where you actually cut the cap. Biodegradable dog waste bags are a great addition to any pack. You can use them on your hands during a greasy or sealanty repair. Use them to pack out garbage, or for dog landmines. If dogs are allowed off-leash on your trails, you know how this stuff can seemingly live on your tire for miles. With a bag, you can get it all out from between your treads and go about your merry way. So, poopy bags have many uses. A good bike light is not cheap, but a decent flashlight like this one is only $10. You can affix it to your helmet with mounting squares. Just clean the surface, apply some squares, and use zip ties to secure the flashlight in place. As long as your light is cylindrical in shape, this hack should be pretty effective. Although brightness varies greatly between consumer flashlights, they will generally give you more lumens per dollar than a bike light, but of course you do need to bring your own mounting hardware. A few years ago, I showed you how to make a simple bike stand with 2x4s. Today, we'll make something slightly more challenging with PVC. You'll need some PVC pipe and some plywood. First, measure from the ground up to your bike frame, and then subtract about an inch. Use some masking tape to cut a slot out of the PVC, about 3/4 of the way down. A Dremel or handsaw would probably be more effective than what I did. If you're trying to make this stand presentable, you can clean it up and paint it however you like. To assemble your stand, fasten the PVC to the wood. An end flange, if you can find one, will make this much easier, but toenailing these 1-inch drywall screws worked fine for me. The stand works by placing your left crank arm in the pipe, with your pedal spindle in the slot. It's quite secure and pretty slick looking. Although the PVC won't scratch your crank, it can end up with some paint scuffs. To remove your cassette, you need a cassette tool and a chain whip. Whips come in various form factors, but always hold the cassette in place while wrenching on the lock ring. But you can use an old chain and some vice grips. For extra points, you can clean the chain and reduce its length by about half, but neither of these steps are essential. All you need to do is wrap a length of chain around your cassette and secure it with the vice grips. Now you can hold your cassette in place while you loosen your lock ring. You can also use an actual vise or anything else with good clamping force. While this kind of clamping force is great for your homemade whip, it would absolutely ruin a cylindrical object like a shock. A strap wrench applies consistent force around an object to avoid crushing it, and indeed it's pretty essential for working on suspension. But with a rag and a vise, you can get by. First, double up the rag to make extra sure your part is protected. Then wrap it around your part firmly and place it in the vise with the jaws wide open. Now be very careful to clamp only the rag, not the part. As you close the vise, pull the rag down to ensure the jaws can get purchase on the cloth. And you should end up with something like this. While this hack can get you out of a jam, it's not worth scratching expensive parts over a $10 tool. So only use this when you have no other option. This final hack comes courtesy of Eric Porter, and it has to do with travel. When you're packing up your bike and gear to take on an airplane, put your filthy, disgusting chamois right on top of everything. Any inspection that takes place will be short-lived. Of course, if you want to do just the opposite, put a dryer sheet in your bag to neutralize the smell of all your sweaty riding gear. And with that, I hope you enjoyed yet another 10 bike hacks video. Many of these hacks were from you guys, and since the last video, I've been hearting suggestions that make it to my list. Leave a hack below and you could see it performed here next time. First, consider watching all my old bike hacks videos to ensure it hasn't been done before. Thanks for your hacks, and thanks for riding with me today. I'll see you next time.